Hello everyone, a big welcome to you. This is Farming in Africa YouTube channel and on all other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. And we love what we do in the world of agriculture, especially the livestock industry. And talking about the livestock industry, you know, we would go anywhere, everywhere, where we would get some new knowledge for you to help improve this industry. And also, exchange of knowledge is very important. If you can see my very important guest today, I would let them tell you where they are coming from. I'm not going to do that for you. But this discussion is for us to exchange knowledge, exchange ideas. They are going to be with us for a while, right? And so today I would go straight to them. They would introduce themselves to us. I've already hinted that they're also here for some kind of exchange of knowledge. But the good thing is, whatever new experiences they are coming with, we are going to get all of that to help improve our own industry before we release them to go back home. So my dear guest, you're welcome. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
How is Ghana treating you?
Well, so far. Good.
Good.
Had a good night.
Very good experience.
Very good experience. Have you eaten any local dish yet?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But I assume you read about Ghana before coming. So what are you expecting to experience?
Well, to be honest, we just see the forests and everything, and I must say the first city that we saw is quite a big city, Accra, and I'm pretty pleased to see what to see what I've actually seen. It's interesting.
It's interesting. What about you?
I'm looking forward to see the forest and the actual farms where the animals are.
Okay.
And I didn't know the city was as big as when we flew in here. I was quite impressed.
Really? You were quite impressed. You thought it was some tiny city, huh?
Yeah, I thought it's a bit small, not that big. It's really big.
Nice. I'm happy we've surprised you. So first of all, it starts with you, Johan. I know your first name, but I really don't know who you are. So I'm part of my global audience this morning. I want you to introduce yourself to us, please.
Okay.
I'm Johan Barkhuizen. I'm a veterinarian from South Africa. Basically, my interests is mostly livestock and some game work down in South Africa.
Okay.
And that's basically what I do.
How long have you been practicing as a veterinary officer?
I qualified in 2008. So
Wow.
it's been a while.
Wow. Do the math for me, guys. And as a veterinary officer, I know you deal with different animals, for lack of a better word. Do you have a particular category that's like your most favorite category?
Well, as I said, livestock,
Livestock.
small and big livestock, cattle and
Okay.
goats and sheep. And
Okay.
then I do love working with the wildlife as well.
The wildlife
Yeah.
as well. Let me still push you further.
Yeah.
Among the cattle, goats, and sheep, which one is still your most favorite category?
I must say I really love working with cattle, but the goats are
Okay.
getting there. I mean, they're interesting animals. And,
Okay.
and they've got an individual personality, each of them, and that
I see.
triggers one. So it's getting there, yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
And I hope my animals do their best to win your heart. My dear Verna, I also just know your first name, so just like Johan did, please introduce yourself to us, who you are, and maybe your experience as well.
Thanks for having us.
Sure.
My name is Werner Lingenfelder. We farm in South Africa with goats and cattle and a little bit of maize.
Okay.
And we do our own feed. We try to do most of the production cycle with our own equipment and with
Wow.
our own knowledge. So yeah, I look forward to see what's going on in Ghana.
We also can't wait to show you what's going on in Ghana. But I love something you said that you grew up on a farm. So it's even a funny question to ask you, how long have you been practicing livestock farming?
With livestock farming, it's been a while.
Wow.
With the goats, we have been busy 8 years now.
Wow.
This is the 8th year now.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot.
Yes.
I think the challenges which we had to overcome in the first few years was getting animals to adapt to new environments, and then also establishing farming practices to make sure we can get the best production out of the animals.
And how is that going? Because it sounds like a progressive journey. So how is that going?
At the moment we are doing good. We learned a lot. And I think we are finally at the place where we can say we really know what we are doing with regards to the goats and the cattle. So yeah, I think, but touch wood, because there's always something new.
Yes, there is always something new. I like that disclaimer. Just like I asked Johan, you mentioned cattle and goats. Which one has won your heart?
Well, to be honest, we farm our major thing is goats.
Okay.
Cattle is a bit on the sideline.
Okay.
We do goats intensively.
Intensively.
Yes.
You know, when I hear a South African farmer tells me they are practicing the intensive system of farming, I laugh. I laugh because I had the privilege of visiting your beautiful country somewhere last year, and then I just couldn't see the end of the farm. Like, you are standing at the farm and you can't see the fences. And they tell me the farm is fenced. I remember telling your mother that, Mommy, this is not intensive system of farming at all. Come to West Africa, narrow it down to Ghana and maybe Nigeria. And then we would show you how a typical closed or intensive system of farming is. So for me, I am particularly happy that you are here and you will get to see for yourself why I was surprised when your mommy said, this is an intensive system of farming.
My name is Suresh. I am from India. Past 3 years I am following Farming in Africa channel. This is very nice channel for farming and animal rearing. Please share and subscribe and comment, and please follow all social media, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Anyway, so back to the discussion we are having. As a veterinary officer, Johan, what would you say are some of the challenges that exist in this industry? What have you experienced?
Well, what we've seen is we do get a lot of, obviously, diseases. Diseases are a big thing, and especially diseases between wildlife and livestock. We do struggle quite a bit with stuff like tuberculosis and brucellosis.
Is it the same diseases in livestock and in the wildlife?
Yes, especially brucellosis. We do get a transmission between the two. And then tuberculosis and even human tuberculosis in some of the wildlife and cattle species.
Wow.
We've not seen that many in goats though, but at least there's a big chance of transmission between the
So
species.
Anybody watching us, you keep mentioning brucellosis.
Yes.
Please educate us a bit.
Yeah, it's a difficult disease to control. It's a disease that causes mainly abortions in your pregnant females.
Yeah.
Usually only abort after the first time they've got infected, and then they abort. They can after that carry full term. And but it's a real big economic disease.
What causes it?
Bacterium, Brucella abortus. We get different species of Brucella. Goats mainly get Brucella melitensis. Sheep, Brucella ovis, and obviously cattle you get Brucella abortus. So there's different species of the Brucella.
Yeah.
And as I say, the major concern is abortion and spread. And it's difficult to control the disease.
Interesting.
Other stuff we see is a lot of internal parasites. And that's also a major thing internationally.
Oh yes, yes.
So, and the control thereof, I also think we've got a really good handle on it. As long as the farmers play along, we can control that internal parasites as well.
Wow, Werner, as a practicing hands-on farmer, what are some of the challenges you have also experienced in terms of maybe an outbreak, abortions, something? And I know you can relate to what Johan has shared.
So with the abortions, you need to be careful with animals you bring into your farm. That you need to really make sure the place where they come from doesn't have that disease, as that could affect your whole herd.
Yes.
That's with cattle and goats, it's very important. And then with the parasites, you need to be on top of it. You need to be on top of it. Otherwise, I think things which have an effect on that is farm management practices, and as well as grazing practices. It's very important with regards to parasites.
You said something about you need to be on top of your game to be able to control that. At your farm, What are some of the measures you have put in place to be on top of your game in controlling them?
But we try to give our staff the right knowledge.
Okay.
I can't be
Okay.
everywhere. My eyes can't do 1,000 goats every day. So my
Yes.
staff has to have the correct knowledge.
Yes.
And then, so every day before our animals go out to the bush,
Yes.
and they do go out, they don't stay in a pen all day, we don't feed them all day. But feed is important, just so that you know.
Yes.
We go through them, so I have about 3 people
Yes.
which help me process those animals every morning.
Yes.
Before they go out at 9, they leave the kraals. We have to go through each kraal,
Wow.
make sure those animals are fine and fit
Yeah.
to go out.
Wow.
If they're not fine and not fit, they stay behind, we treat them.
I see.
As well as when they come back from the bush,
Yeah.
go through them, make sure they're fine.
You are not hearing this from me today. You are hearing it from people who are practicing everything Farming in Africa has been advocating for. This discussion is getting more insightful, and I feel like each of them deserves a spot, a whole session on its own. And believe you me, as they have entered the studio of Farming in Africa, I'm going to do that, because all the 5 pillars, we here at our company, we advocate that for anybody at all to have a successful livestock agribusiness, especially in Africa, we tell them start with the right breeds. The genetics is very important. If you start with a genetic that would never be able to grow to even 50 kg, even if you give them the best feed, they are still not going to get you to that size. And that's why we advocate a lot about improving the genetics. When you visit the farm this week, you would see all of the amazing artificial insemination projects going on. You would see a baby who is surviving and growing very well, whom we got out of artificial insemination. I won't spill the beans. You just go to the farm and you see for yourself. The second pillar we talk about is nutrition. And that's why when you hammered on the feed is important, I was touched, because we tell farmers, if you visit the local communities in West Africa, most of our farmers are both crop farmers and livestock farmers. And they have this habit of waking up in the morning, leaving the animals to fend for themselves in the communities and the townships. Then they go to their crop farms. So nutrition is not really an intentional thing, and that's what we are trying to change in the community. I'm happy you touched on that. The third one sits with you. We tell people healthcare is very, very important. You mentioned some diseases that you said you didn't even know exist because you don't have it in South Africa. PPR. Yeah, what were you saying about that?
Yeah,
I was surprised you said it's not there, it's not common.
It's a disease we don't see in South Africa and
Wow.
Southern Africa.
Wow.
But it's closely related to one of our diseases that we
Okay.
actually had controlled, the rinderpest in cattle.
Wow.
So,
You have
yeah.
been able to control it, you were telling me.
Yes, it's completely under control. We don't
Wow.
see it anymore. Especially in South Africa, we don't see rinderpest anymore. So.
And when I was saying he doesn't even know what it is because it doesn't exist anymore.
So, disease-wise, every country and every region has got
Yes.
its own diseases.
Yes.
And, major diseases are the same, but there are some diseases that we don't see in other countries and so forth.
Wow.
But we'll touch on that.
We will touch on that. I love something he said. We will touch on that right after this. I'm going to get him and get all of his knowledge before he goes back. So that's the third pillar we talk about. And that's why when I took you to the Agro Venture shop, I was telling you how we source authentic medication for livestock. Because in West Africa, it's actually a bit difficult to come across potent vaccines. If you move to the north of Ghana, we traveled there somewhere last year and we found these, we call them Fulani. They are like a tribe, nomads. And under this hot sun in Ghana, they were selling vaccines. You guys see the look on his face, right? Exactly how we felt. Already the vaccine has lost its potency before you even administer it. So it's a big thing, and I'm happy you are here and we would have a discussion on that. The fourth pillar we talk about for you to do before you have a successful business is what we call the farm management. And that has got to do with something Verna said, that even your staff should get the right knowledge. I really like that, because in Ghana and in West Africa, it's a common thing to find that some father is traveling outside, and so he just hands over some goat farm he was managing to his nephew, who just graduated from high school. This person, number one, lacks the right knowledge, lacks certain skills and expertise needed to scale up or even manage the farm. And so we end up losing all of the investment because we took it for granted. So it's very important. And that's why, as a company, for some time now, our focus has been on offering training programs to people, offering the right knowledge, building the capacity of people. That's why we would come to South Africa, see the various systems being practiced, bring it back home, train our people. That's why we would have people like you come in here to share your knowledge and also to exchange the knowledge, because you would see something different here, which I believe you would also look at how you can incorporate it. And the last pillar we advocate for here, I feel like I'm schooling you, forgive me, is the infrastructure. That, I believe, would be one of the biggest shocks for you when you visit our farm, because you guys have the land. That is the truth. You have the land. We don't have. And so I can't wait for you to see how we are making it work, even with the limited land access. Ladies and gentlemen, when I go out there and I tell people I'm a farmer, they are surprised. Young girl, farmer, didn't you go to school? That is the narrative that exists in West Africa, and we are trying to change that. So I'm very happy that you are here. And on behalf of our boss, our CEO, I'm sure you met him yesterday, right? Fred, you met Fred yesterday. On behalf of him, let me officially welcome you again to Accra, to Ghana.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we love what we do, and this is a clear example of that. They are actually also going to be part of the team of facilitators for a program coming up at the farm this week. I told you that the training programs, we are not going to stop. Just this coming Saturday, we actually have a farm management boot camp. Oh, hopefully you will be there. Whole day affair. You get people traveling from the US, UK, Northern Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia to come and have theory session at the farm. And the nicer part is practical session is available. So I'm happy we have all of these programs lined up for you, and we would always continue to fish out all of the knowledgeable people who can come and also contribute to the progress of this industry. My name is Nadia, and today I have the absolute privilege of sitting down with practicing farmer, Werner, and a veterinary officer with close to 2 decades of experience in the field of what? Veterinary medicine, treating, I like something he said, wildlife. When I catch him one-on-one, I'll let him share his experience in the wildlife side for us, okay? We love you so much, and continue to stay tuned across all our other social media platforms, because you never know when I'm getting you another Johan or another Werner. Mwah! See ya, bye-bye.